101 famous poems. Requiem. By Robert Louis Stevenson. Spoken and with commentary by E. T. Hansen. Under the wide and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I live and gladly die, and I laid me down with a will. This be the verse you grave for me. Here he lies where he longed to be. Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter home from the hill. Only death teaches us how to live. Someone once said we spend the first half of our lives learning to live, and the second half learning to die. I know I didn't think much about dying in the first half of my life. Sometimes I talked about death just because I thought it would make me look intellectual, but it was just pretend until real people in my life began dying. Most importantly, my parents. That's when the reality of death hit me like a hammer, that terrifying knowledge that it was all going to go away very, very soon and would never come back. The funny thing is, the thought is not just horrifying. It has its good sides. I imagine myself on my deathbed, plagued by torturous questions I no longer have time to answer. What do I regret? What would I do again? What was important? What was an illusion? Did I bring joy to others? Did I serve my fellow man? Were there things I could have given that I didn't? But I'm not on my deathbed. Not yet. I have time to answer those questions. When I was young, I often associated dying with the famous bucket list. Things I wanted to do before I die, experiences I wanted to make, places I wanted to see. Now I know how superficial a bucket list is. It's like a list of gifts I want from Santa Claus for Christmas. It's all about me getting things and having fun. But on my deathbed, those are not the things I will be thinking of. Now that I see death lurking in the shadowy distance, eyeing me hungrily, my bucket list consists of bigger questions. What must I do to lead a fulfilling, meaningful life in the time I have left? It's the same for all of us. When we think about dying, we're often really thinking about living. I recently reread Homer's epic, The Iliad, which tells the tale of a bloody 10-year war that seems endless because it is fought between equal foes. And let me tell you, the impression you had when you were a kid and had to read this book in school is true. It really is one battle after the other, and it gets boring fast. But as an adult, I also noticed something I hadn't noticed as a kid. All these Greek heroes facing off with each other are not just dying, they're trying to die with some kind of human dignity. They all want to comport themselves with honor and give their short lives meaning. Then there are the gods. They are involved in the war too, goading the warriors into action or protecting them, then withdrawing their protection out of spite or boredom. The gods are much different from the humans. While the humans strive for honor, the gods are spiteful and trivial. They pout and grudge and are full of feelings like envy and resentment. You would think it should be the other way around. The gods should be far-sighted and majestic, while mankind is small and foolish. But that's not the case. And the reason is death. The gods live forever. It never occurs to them that they might one day look back on life and regret anything. But when we humans face death, we rethink our lives before it is too late. That says a lot about being human. It's all about facing death, then turning around and facing life. Death, like birth, is a gift of life. About Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson, 1850 to 1894, was a Scottish essayist, poet, and travel writer, and ranks among the best-loved novelists of all time. Born and educated in Edinburgh, as a young man he mixed in London literary circles and traveled widely, first to France and other parts of Europe, then to America and the Pacific Islands. His first works were travel books. Stevenson suffered from serious bronchial trouble all his life. In middle age, he fell in love with the American divorcee Fanny Van de Grift Osborne, who initially rejected him. Despite failing health, he pursued her back to America, which almost killed him, and finally married her. The publication of Treasure Island made him an overnight celebrity, and at the age of 40, he settled in Samoa with his family, where he died 4 years later. He is best known for his beloved children's novels, Treasure Island and Kidnapped, and for his horror novel, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. His poem, Requiem, is engraved on his headstone on Mount Vaea, Samoa, overlooking the sea.